does not understand what you are actually doing, right? So remember, the most expensive thing in terms of database management are the people. If you're using Oracle, the Oracle version is the more expensive thing. That is what I've heard. But essentially, if you're using a database, we actually want to have a concise and clear naming system, a concise and clear set of constraints, and a set of comments that would explain what this table does and what it does not. Okay. So that was the not null constraint. Another constraint that we can have is the unique constraint. So unique constraint is a way to specify candidate keys in a table. If you remember, candidate keys were candidate keys for primary keys, right? They have to be unique and they have to have the unique values. So we can specify candidate keys in our tables as well by just using the unique constraint next to that particular attribute. And that makes that particular attribute a candidate key. So again, the same as that of primary keys, you can only specify multi-column candidate keys after you have made all of your column specifications. Or if it's just a single column candidate key, you can just say it right next to that attribute. However, there is one difference between a unique or a candidate key compared to a primary key. The candidate key will actually allow your null, allow that particular attribute to have null values. So a unique attribute would allow null values as well, and it can allow multiple null values as well. It would also allow your candidate null value. I mean, it would also allow null values as well. And that also means, so for example, let's say that, and it's a very weird database, but let's say that our account ID is a candidate key, not a primary key, but a unique candidate key. So that means that it will also allow null values. So for someone with the name of, let's say, John Doe, can have an account ID of null. And that would also mean that I can add another customer called John Doe with the same account number null. Because remember, null values cannot be compared. Null equals null is unspecified or unknown. So two null values are completely unique. You can have different entries with null values. So always remember this and keep this in mind when we are talking about candidate keys, right? So we can then say create table employee or employee ID has to be the primary key. But remember, we can also have candidate keys, and we can say that we don't want our SSN number to be a primary key because we don't want to have that SSN number littered throughout our database. But we can also specify that this has to be a unique SSN number. And on top of that, we can also specify that this can't be null. So we are saying employee SSN number char9 not null unique. And you can see that we are just tacking on more constraints on our attributes, right? And employee name cannot be null. It could be not unique. That is fine. Multiple people can have the same name, but SSN numbers have to be unique and not null. Yes. Any questions? Okay, pretty straightforward stuff, right? So essentially, whatever we learn, yes, Angelina.
I'm not too. I don't really understand what's the unique because null is like, what's so unique about null?
No. It's not. We are not saying that null is unique. We are saying that. So, for example, employee name, we are stating that it is not null, right? So it cannot be null. So for employee SSN number, we are saying that it cannot be null. A person has to have an SSN number, so it cannot be null, and it has to be unique. So it's an additional constraint on top of that. Does that make sense? Good question. Any other question? Okay. So yes, as we can see that our database or our table declaration is growing by the day and or by the minute. So it will grow quite a bit, but essentially this is how we can add constraints to our table, so that a person who's trying to insert a null value to an SSN number or an SSN number that already exists, then the database would say that, there is a conflict of database entries and it cannot be inserted. Okay, so let's say that we have this particular database, that we have, sorry, my bad, this particular table customer that has customer name varchar 30 cannot be null, address varchar 60, and we did not specify anything. So for example, this can be null. So for example, we don't know the address of a customer yet. Maybe we will get to know it later, or maybe it's not important, so it can be null. So we did not specify any constraint for that. And we say that it is, there is no primary key, but we say that customer name and address are total candidate keys. The combination of those two is your candidate key. So if I try inserting values into this particular table, I would say insert into customer values John Doe 123 Spring Lane. That gets inserted fine. Next, if I try to insert the same entry again, that is John Doe 123 Spring Lane, now it would get me an error that says duplicate entry. This is already existing because customer name and address are have to be combined unique. We can have John Doe with another address, or at the same address we can have another customer, but both of those two things cannot be inserted again. Make sense? So basically we can have John Doe with some other 456 fall lane, let's say. And we can also have Jane Doe at 123 Spring Lane. That is also fine. But we just can't insert both of these together as one particular thing. Again, let's look at the same table, and we say customer name varchar not null, address varchar 60, unique customer name and address. So we can insert Jane Doe. Let's say that we insert Jane Doe as our customer name and the value null for the address. Now, again, if we insert the same thing, insert into customer values Jane Doe and with an address null, both of these inserts will succeed. Can you tell me why?
Is it because there's no unique there?
But it is, right? Both customer name and address are unique. Yes, unique constraints do not exclude null values. So these by default, unique constraints won't specify that it cannot be null. We had a customer name not null constraint on that, and that is why we specified Jane Doe. But since we allowed addresses to be null, and different null values are not the same, remember? So null equals to null is not going to be the same thing. So both of these will be successfully inserted, because if you want to check whether this can be inserted or not, you would compare, hey, is Jane Doe there or not? Yes, Jane Doe is there. And is null equals to this particular entry? You would say no. This null is not the same as that null, because nulls can't be compared. We really actually want our address to also have a not null attribute here as well. Now this becomes an issue, because as we said that for this particular table, we might not require an address, or a particular address might be known later. So this is where your database design requirements comes into play as to what you would want. And that also falls into different things like what you're allowing by stating what you want. So if you say that I want the table to allow null address values where customer name and addresses are unique, that also means indirectly that you are also allowing statements like this to your table, right? Because unique on its own will not remove or disallow null values. And two Jane Doe entries, Jane Doe null are not the same. The first parts are, but the second parts are not. Because null could be anything, and comparing to any possibilities are not the same.
Wait, can you explain why are they not the same again?
Because so let's say that you're writing a program And let's say that you're comparing these two values and you're saying that these two are array elements. This is the first array element. This is the second array element. And this is the first array element of the second array. And this is the second array element of the second array, right? Let's say that these are two arrays with two elements each. So how do you compare if two arrays are the same? You would say array element 0, is that equal to array element 0? Then array element 1, is that equal to array element 1 here, right? So for the first one, it would say that yes, these are the same. But for array element 1 comma array element 1, equality conditions on those two, we are basically checking is null equal to null. And that is not true, because null values cannot be compared and we can't say that two null values are the same or not. So that is why these two entries are not the same. Make sense? Any other questions? Good. Okay. So apart from null constraints, we can also have some other constraints such as the check constraint. So maybe we want our attribute to have values that belong to certain set of values. Maybe we want branch names that are only from the selected list of branch names. I don't want any arbitrary branch names in my table. It has to be a branch name from a pre-specified list. Or maybe salaries cannot be negative. It has to be positive. I can't actually be asked to pay for working there, except for students who are actually paying. But, right? Okay. So for that, we can say that with a check constraint. So for this particular table, we have our employee table. Employee ID is an integer, which is a primary key. Employee SSN number is a character of size 9. It is not null and it is unique. Employee name is a varchar of 40. It can be unique, but it cannot be null. I mean, it can be duplicate, but it cannot be null. My bad. It can be duplicate. Different employees can have the same name, but it cannot be null. And then we have our pay rate, that is numeric 5,2. Pay rate cannot be a null value, but pay rate also has to be greater than 5.25 or the minimum wage issues. But I guess minimum wages are not that low, but essentially we can set our pay rate to be greater than this particular amount or whatever amount. Yeah. Right. We can also specify an enumerated list of values where we say that our status is an attribute that can only be in 3 possible values: active, vacation, or suspended. It cannot be anything else. Right? So essentially, we can also have an enumerated list of numbers or list of values. And this could also be an example for your branch names, right? We have an enumerated list of branch names that we have, and we say that our branch name can only be from that list of branches. It cannot be any arbitrary branch. Otherwise, a person or a layman would be able to add a branch where that branch does not even exist, right? So we want to be able to enforce that constraint as well. Any questions? Okie dokie. Ooh, yes. So let's check this particular create table carefully, and we will talk about this after this class, I mean next class onwards. So essentially we have create table depositor, customer name is varchar 30, account number is char 10, our primary key is both customer name and account number, so that entire pair has to be unique. Check account number in, select account number from account, right? So essentially this is specifying that our account number